Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make an autumn tree for all your seasonal builds. Autumn might be one of my favorite seasons because of all the colors. When you look around, for example if you're in a forest or something, it feels almost magical, and I really wanted to recreate this feeling in Minecraft. And so I did, and I also wanted to make a guide to make you guys be able to recreate it too. I'm also working on a ship project, which I know I said this video is going to be the ship, but it just takes so long to make, and it'll be the next video. It's almost done at this point, and I'm really looking forward to get it out and show it off, because I'm super proud of the end result. There's a little teaser picture on the screen right now. Here is also an example of how the tree can be used in an actual situation in more of a landscaped area. Although this terrain ain't really autumn-like though. Okay, so to start things off, you're gonna have a look at which blocks to use. I'm going to use for the trunk an oak-based design with oak logs or oak wood, depends on what you want. And also going to have some spruce slabs and stairs and some strip spruce. I really think this combination works for oak trees, and an oak tree is kind of what I'm going for. You can change this up to dark oak or birch or whatever you like. It's totally up to you. We'll also have a look at the leaves later. But to show the shape better, I'm going to use gold blocks just to make it easier to see. You can of course do this if you're using World Edit, but in survival it's not very practical. If you want a more detailed explanation of how to do the branches and shape of the tree, I suggest checking out my custom oak tree guide. I go over it in a lot more detail there, but I'm just gonna say the basics here, and you can go check out that other video if you haven't. I'm going for a leaning tree where I don't really care about where the branches are pointing. I have some going upwards, some going downwards, and some splitting off into multiple different branches, which is a trick that I use very often when I make trees. Just try to make it look natural, and if a branch looks wrong, just go ahead and remove it and build another one. It's that simple and hard at the same time. Another thing to consider when you're making trees is the balance. You want the tree to look like it actually can stand, and you don't want to have all branches on one side. That'll just look completely weird. So try to make the branches semi-similar, so you don't have like all the branches on one side and nothing on the other side. But when you do that, you'll notice it, and hopefully you'll fix it too. Just remember, take your time during this process so that you don't accidentally do something wrong and then have to go back and fix it later when you've got all the leaves in place. When I'm happy with my shape, I changed out the gold blocks for oak wood. To give some more texture to the tree, I mixed in some stripped spruce. You can go completely crazy with soul sand and dark oak stripped and everything you want, but I just like to keep it simple for this video. You technically don't have to add them to the branches because they're not really visible through the leaves anyway. But I think it's just nice to have it when you, especially when you get close, that you can see that there's actual texture there. If you want to smooth out the roots and branches even more, you can also add some spruce stairs and slabs into the mix. Again, it's not really visible through the leaves, so I just added them at the bottom. Having said that, no, I didn't. Next up, you want to add some smaller branches into the tree, making use of fences and fence gates. These can be pointing anywhere you want. You can have them going downwards, upward, to the side, and all sorts of directions. It doesn't really matter where they are, just make sure to have some branches there to be able to place leaves on. Or I'm saying leaves, I mean blocks, which looks like leaves. Do this for the entire tree. If you want to add even more detail to your tree trunk, you can also place in some spruce trapdoors and spruce signs, or it depends on what wood type you're using though. I also added some open fence gates, which I don't know what they look like, maybe some branches, but it does work for the tree. Now that the trunk and branches are all in place, it's time to place in the leaves. But if you want to, you can just stop right here. You can add some cobwebs, you can add some hanging jack-o'-lanterns, and you've got yourself a pretty decent dead Halloween tree. For the leaves themselves, I'm going to use brown concrete powder, orange concrete powder, red sand, and orange and red terracotta. I'm going to mark out the shape with just orange terracotta, but you can just do all the blocks from the start, it doesn't really matter. If you've ever built custom trees before, you know that they have to be airy to look good. You don't want a compact blob of leaves or blocks around your branch. And with solid blocks it's even more important. You want to have holes in the leaves pretty much everywhere to make both light and air go through and to make it look more fluffy and airy. Again, if you want a more detailed explanation, go check out the custom oak tree video, it's linked in the description below. Now you can really see how the tree is going to look. Of course it's missing all the texture, but the shape is in there and you can really see what direction we're going in. But since it's an autumn tree, some leaves may have fallen off, so that's why I'm going to add even more branches going out past the leaves. Again, I'm going to use some spruce fences and spruce fence gates for this, and just make the branches go out through the leaves to make it look like the leaves on the outer branches have just fallen off and these are the only ones remaining. And now it's finally time to texture up the leaves. You're going to want to use some orange concrete powder, brown concrete powder, red terracotta and red sand. Also try to make sure that you have the darkest blocks the further in, giving an effect of shade. So you can have, for example, the red terracotta and orange terracotta the further in the tree and have the orange concrete powder as highlights at the tips of the branches. If you want the concrete powder to appear floating, you can use string or barrier blocks if you're in creative. Then you just have to start the tedious process of doing this for the entire tree. And that is our tree all done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, because this was a really fun one to make. I really think that using solid blocks in the tree just takes it to the next level, and being able to have this color gradient without the texture pack is just so amazing for trees. And maybe I'll do a snowy tree for the winter season. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!